Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm in the studio. We are live, which means you lot need to get involved in the chat and the comments. We're going to be talking about Manchester United, Erik ten Hag. It's decision day. Sack or don't sack? That is the big question. Is he going to go or is he going to stay? There's a lot of reports about what the future may hold for Erik ten Hag. Ineos are going to be having a meeting now. We're probably in it right now as we speak. This meeting was already planned. It was already on the agenda from weeks and months ago. But it's obvious they need to talk about Erik ten Hag because the Manchester United manager has been underperforming. And the big question, as I just said, is whether they're going to stay with him or they're going to get rid of him. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into the quotes and the comments and the reports from the newspapers in a minute. But first of all, I'm going to get into your quotes. Loads of people in the chat and the comments. Good to see. Usual suspects, Brian Casey, Akash K, Jacoya Trott, Santa Notch is here, Ross Murphy, Rasmus Jorgensen, Fabi Wan, all say morning, good morning. Stuart Thomas, morning from Melbourne. James Swinbank says, what's up, folks? Let's get into it. Let's stop these Oxbridge pleasantries and just get right into the nitty-gritty. Ten Hag not expecting a sack. Right, so this is from TNT Sports. It says here, meanwhile, the Telegraph claims Ten Hag believes he is safe from the sack ahead of the meeting in London on Tuesday. The Telegraph adds, the meeting has not been specially convened to discuss Ten Hag's future and has been in the diary for some time as part of efforts for the executives to meet once a month. So, you can scroll down a little bit there. You can see, I think it's James Ducker, who's been on the channel. Good guy, James, knows his stuff. So, Ten Hag believes he's safe. Does that mean he is safe? Possibly, because let's not forget, Ten Hag sometimes believes that Manchester United are playing really well, even though we're not. So you might look at it that way and go, well, is Ten Hag just deluded? Or does he know something we don't? And that he's had the little nod and a wink and don't you worry, son, you go enjoy your holidays. You've still got a job waiting for you when you come back. We'll see. We will see. Let's talk about this sack agreement headline. You see this from the Mirror, and it's come via ESPN. Everything's via someone else, innit? It's usually, these are reporting it via this outlet. And when you click on that outlet, it's as reported in this outlet. It's like, burns my head out. Anyway, I digress. United Chiefs reach sack agreement. Okay. According to ESPN, the United hierarchy have decided this will not be the day when Erik ten Hag's tenure ends. It's claimed that Ratcliffe, Berrada, Ashworth and co have privately elected to give the Dutchman more time at the helm to see if he can once more turn things around. In the words of Pepper Brooks, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. That's from Dodgeball, innit? They're going to forfeit the game. It's a bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off for him. Bet you didn't think you'd be getting, oh, there you go, a dodgeball reference this early. All right, Sozard. Why are you acting like you're dead clever? Like, I bet you didn't think I'd be that clever. I'm funny. Bore off. So, the Mirror is saying it looks like Ineos aren't going to pull the plug. The Telegraph are saying, I should go back to where that's come from. The ESPN are saying that Ineos aren't going to pull the plug. The Telegraph are saying Erik ten Hag believes he's safe. So that's two outlets that are relatively reliable. Don't get everything right, but I do rate James Ducker. But again, the sort of the twist in that is Erik ten Hag might believe he's safe. Jim Ratcliffe might not. But in terms of the sack agreement story that we've seen in the Mirror via ESPN, again, this feels like, it does feel to me like he's more than likely going to keep his job. That's the impression I get. Now, I don't know. I'm not ITK. I pride myself on that. But the general feeling is it doesn't feel like he's going to go. Let me know what you think. Do you think he's A, going to get sacked, or B, should be getting sacked? It's not nice, is it, to talk about a United manager getting sacked, right? And I don't like it. But we're not MUFC. It's not pretending everything is rosy. We're 14th in the league. We finished 8th last season. Yes, we won the FA Cup, but there's obviously issues there. So you can understand why people are wondering and why people are reporting that he could go. It makes sense to me that there's at least a discussion going on it. Cavalier says Ineos brought the new players. Matthew Jones says should. CTB says he's going to be given till Christmas. Phil Berry says he's not getting sacked. Ignite Husky says he's not getting sacked, or he's not going to get sacked, but he should be. Kenneth says, please sack him already. As he see says, I only want to keep him if the other option is Southgate. I like that. I agree. I would hate to see Gareth Southgate as United manager. And if he is United manager, I'm probably going to start a hate campaign against him before he's even took over. Should we talk about Ruud van Nistelrooy? See, this to me, right? I saw this last night. Is this Jamie Jackson who, again, I like Jamie. He knows his stuff. I rate him. He posted this last night or yesterday evening. Van Nistelrooy on standby with Ten Hag's future to be decided at meeting. So Jim Ratcliffe to meet senior colleagues. We know all that. We know all that. Van Nistelrooy seen as a potential caretaker option. I mean, Ruud van Nistelrooy, you see there, it says it, favoured as a caretaker replacement. Should a change be made? That's completely, to me, untenable. Is that not just like ruining that working relationship? All this speculation that Erik Ten Hag's safe for now, but if he's not, or if they change their mind, then Ruud will just take over. So what are them two going to be saying to each other? Are them two going to be getting on? It's like, oh yeah, I'm your assistant, but I'm just waiting for you to make a mess of it so I can take over. I'm not saying Ruud is even thinking that, but if that's how the United hierarchy are looking at it, which is obvious, because I think a lot of us have said it, I've said it myself, Ruud would seem like the obvious caretaker to take over. It just feels to me now with all these reports coming out, it makes it almost an unworkable relationship. Let me know what you think. Do you think they can just still carry on like nothing's happened if indeed Erik Ten Hag does keep his job? Or do you feel like it does sort of make it a little bit difficult, to say the least? Natasha Snowden says all bull. Mukel Angenu says the board should not hesitate to sack him. I advise none of the board members should back him up. He's incompetent enough to bring back United to glory days. Thank you. Brian Casey says, don't see the point in sacking Ten Hag to bring in an interim. Only makes sense if it's for a long-term replacement. Harry Potter says, if they bring Timmy Tuchel in over Ruud, I'll be raging. And he's put an angry emoji there just to emphasise how annoyed he will be. Harry Doran says, journalist just guessing, hoping they'll get it right. I do feel like there is a bit of guesswork going on. I do feel like the journalists are looking at it going, if you look at a lot of what is being said, it's pretty meaningless. Some people are putting their necks on the line and saying, look, he's not going to get sacked or whatever. But if you're saying he thinks his job's safe, that doesn't mean it is. If you're saying the United hierarchy view Ruud van Nistelrooy as a potential caretaker, yeah, they probably do. That doesn't mean he's going to be the caretaker. It doesn't mean they're going to get rid of Erik Ten Hag. But you would think that the guy who is a club legend, who has just come in as assistant manager, who has got some managerial pedigree because of what he did at PSV, would be an obvious caretaker. It would make sense. So I feel like with a lot of these stories, it's just logic rather than sources are telling them things. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Get involved in the comments. Santa Not says, many assistant managers have become caretaker in those situations. Not sure anything sinister is happening. They have. I just think it makes it difficult if Erik Ten Hag is looking at the papers saying Ruud van Nistelrooy is ready to take over. I just think that might cause a bit of needle between them. Hamish Morrison says, doubt it. Ruud was selected by Ten Hag and the club liked the selection. Adam Ferguson, says, anyone saying but Arteta is genuinely moronic. Not just moronic, genuinely moronic. Yeah? You're a proper moron, according to Adam, if you say that. Kevin Guthrie says, Southgate coming in and being successful would be the funniest thing ever, and I'd gladly eat my hat if it happened. Change the word funniest for unlikeliest, and I agree. I don't see Gareth Southgate coming in and doing anything other than underwhelming us all. Graham says, winning the FA Cup has clouded their judgment. Maybe it has. It did feel like he was on his way out, and that sort of changed the narrative, changed the feelings towards Erik Ten Hag. What do you think? Let me know. I want to know your opinion. Get involved and let me know what you think. Manish Bandari says, Jay, what do you think has been lost between the players and the manager after Fergie left? You don't see players like Johnny Evans coming up nowadays who have only club on their heart and mind. I think you do. I think Kobe Mainoo is someone that only cares about Manchester United. I get your point though. You don't see a lot of them. I think when you have a lot of different managers coming in, it's difficult to build that relationship like what Fergie did. Obviously, Fergie was so massive, such a big presence at the club as well. And he had that leeway that if players were underperforming and he just wanted to drop him or sell him, no one would question it. Erik ten Hag's probably a little bit different, where he has to keep people happy to a certain degree. I know with Sancho and Ronaldo, obviously he didn't, but it's a little bit different. And I just feel you've lost as well some of that winning mentality and that success mentality, if you can call it that. At United, we just kept winning things, and once you start winning things and keep it up, it becomes second nature. At Manchester United, finishing second would be disastrous under Sir Alex Ferguson. Now it'd be an achievement, and that's where we're at. And we have to, the only cure for that is to start winning things. Once you start winning things, then you get a winning mentality. That's how you do it. We've won the FA Cup, we've won the League Cup. Is that enough to make you winners? Not really. I think you need to start doing a lot better in the league. You need to start having those title challenges. I think you look at what Arsenal have done. I know someone said don't compare them to Arteta. I'm not. I'm saying look at Arsenal as a team, what they've done recently. They're now in the mindset where it's title challenge. It is title challenge. It wasn't that long ago that Arsenal's mindset was get top four. Genuinely. Under Arteta, the goal was get top four. Now I think the goal is to win the title. And it should be. I think if Arsenal don't win the title this season, I think they'll be disappointed, because it feels like now is their time to do it. They finished second twice. They're pushing City a little bit closer and closer. This should be the time that they do it. And City, especially losing Rodri, probably a little bit more vulnerable than they have been in the past. So you get there by progressing and winning things and challenging for the top honours. Manchester United have not challenged for a title properly since Fergie left. We did a little bit under Ole around Christmas, didn't we? Until it fell off. We did a little bit under Jose till about, the end of September. We haven't had a real title challenge that's gone right through to the end of April like title challenges should since Sir Alex Ferguson left. And that's not good enough. And it's difficult to get that winning mentality. You can bring in players that have won things. We've brought in Casemiro. We've brought in Rafael Varane. I know he's gone now. We've brought in, players that have Ronaldo came back. One of the most successful players ever. John Evans has come back. John Evans has obviously got the right mentality, but ultimately, you need to start winning trophies as Manchester United. It's not just about bringing in players who have had success. Almost everyone we've brought in has had some success. That's why you bring them in. Like, they might not have won loads of Champions Leagues or titles, whatever, or Premier Leagues, but they've won something. They've won things. However, I think to really get back to that winning mentality, this team has to start challenging. Whether that's going to be under Erik ten Hag or someone else remains to be seen. Thomas Tuchel, should we talk about him? Man United are lining up Thomas Tuchel to replace Erik ten Hag with other candidates already attached to club, as report emerges on the eve of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's big meeting. So I think this is from last night. Manchester United reportedly interested in replacing Erik ten Hag with former Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel. Tuchel seems like the most obvious manager if you're going to bring in someone permanently. He's had success, won things at Dortmund, or won something at Dortmund, won things at PSG. Obviously won the Champions League at Chelsea, won the title at Bayern Munich, although you don't get much credit for that, and then finished third, hence the reason he's out of a job now. So Tuchel would seem like an obvious appointment. Would you have Thomas Tuchel at United? Let me know what you think. Roy Parkinson says, he doesn't say anything. He's welcome to the first team. He's joined the membership. Thank you. We've got extra content on our members section. I did a video there, a vlog, last week over in Porto, so you can go and check that out. So, Tuchel is being lined up, says the Mail. Well, that's that then, isn't it? Or is it? Because according to Sky, Thomas Tuchel not approached by Man United as Erik ten Hag expects to remain in charge at Old Trafford. So Melissa Reddy, who's the senior reporter at Sky, says no approach from United for Thomas Tuchel as Erik ten Hag expects to remain in charge. United not panicking and determined to be measured in how they assess ten Hag's future. Man United have won only 3 of 11 games in all competitions this season. So Melissa Reddy saying they're sticking with him. Other people are saying they're sticking with him. It feels like he's going to stay. It does feel like that to me. Let me know what you think. You may disagree. Natasha Snowden says lies. Andrew says we keep sacking managers, which means we need to keep changing players. We have to take some pain before we move forward. Maurice Marshall says if we were to hire a German manager, I'd rather have Nagelsmann over Tommy Tickles. Dan United 94 says Jay mate, what do you think of my headline? If he gets appointed, Tuchel for school. I heard some mild laughter, if you could call it laughter, from the production desk. No, I'll be honest with you, Dan. I appreciate your comments, but no. I think it's not very good. Bruno Hamza, Erik Ten Hag out, Tuchel in. He's a big Tuchel fan. D. Trizzy, Jay, what do you have against Waistcoat? He's probably what we need right now. He has taken your SHIT House English team to 2 European finals. Give him some credit. No, I won't give him some credit. No, I don't care what he's done with England. What did he do? Where was he a manager? I forgot. Middlesbrough. He got them relegated and then got sacked when they were in the Championship. That is the extent of his footballing sort of pedigree when it comes to club football. Yes, he did all right with England. He took them to 2 finals. You can't dismiss that. But did we win anything? No. And he also made mistakes as England manager. Look at that France game in the World Cup. Don't get me started on it. England should have beaten Italy at Wembley. It was there for the taking. Italy weren't even that good. But we didn't. So, no, I don't think just because you've done relatively well for England as a manager, you should come in and take over the biggest club in the world or one of the biggest clubs in the world and go toe-to-toe with the likes of Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta. I don't think he's that guy. I'm sorry, I don't. Dan London says, we need to act like a big club, buy out a manager who's currently in a job and doing well, not looking for guys from their unemployed scrap heap. Go to Villa and say, Unai. Come and join us. Come and join the Ineos revolution. I'm going to leave it there. Thanks to everyone who got involved in the chat and the comments. Going to be back later. I'm going to have a House and Versus later on today. I think we've put a tweet out. If you've got any topics you want him to cover, any people that need a few shots firing at them, get involved in that and let them know. Also, we've got an interview with Peter Hall coming up as well, as a journalist who's been covering what's going on with Manchester United, so make sure you check that out. Don't forget, if you're not doing already, to hit like, share and subscribe. I'm Jay Motty. This has been The Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.